is Adelaide's FIVEaa.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, 28. With the 3 o'clock news, I'm Michaela Kamarek.
Win $50,000 just for getting tickets by midnight Friday in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
A woman who conspired with her lover to murder her disabled husband will spend more than 20 years behind bars. Kendall Brettig reports.
44-year-old Tanya Henriksen and 47-year-old Gavin Skinner were found guilty of murder. His friend, 48-year-old Robert Thrupp, was found guilty of the lesser offence of manslaughter. Wheelchair-bound Stephen Henriksen was beaten and stabbed at his Morford Vale home in 2018 for being an inconvenience and an impediment to his wife's relationship. Outside court, the couple's daughters welcomed the punishment, saying justice had been served. Their mother will serve 22 years non-parole, Skinner 24 years and Thrupp 7 years behind bars.
There have been 2 more COVID-related deaths and 1,445 new cases reported in SA. 210 people are in hospital, 16 in ICU, with 5 on ventilators. Premier Stephen Marshall says he's not expecting a big jump in hospitalisations as restrictions ease.
No, because what's happening is that the vaccination rate continues to climb, and we know that as people get those boosters into their arms, they're less likely to contract the disease, they're less likely to transmit the disease, but most importantly, they're less likely to get severe symptoms requiring hospitalisation.
And the Premier says an announcement on voting arrangements for COVID-positive people and close contacts will be made next week. Talks are underway between Australia and 3 other countries which make up the Quad Alliance. Melbourne is hosting the foreign ministers of the US, Japan and India. Dealing with the threat China poses to stability in the Indo-Pacific is among the issues on the agenda. Prime Minister Scott Morrison says it's an important gathering.
We live in a very fragile, fragmented and contested world, and that is no more accentuated than here in our Indo-Pacific. And the like-minded partners that we see gathered together in this Quad, I always find so incredibly reassuring.
The Reserve Bank Governor has given another hint that interest rates are likely to rise but won't say exactly when. At the height of the COVID outbreak, Philip Lowe signalled rates would remain at a record low until 2024. He's told a parliamentary hearing that timeframe could change.
The economy has performed better and inflation has been higher than that in the central scenario. And as a result, interest rate expectations have moved higher.
Former Liberal leader Andrew Peacock has been honoured at a memorial service in Melbourne. He died last April at the age of 82. Mr Peacock's daughter Anne says above everything he achieved, being a father came first.
A father who ensured that we were brought up attending church, learning and living the key messages of the Bible, including truth, love and respect, forgiveness and, of course, gratitude.
Now turning to FIVEaa Sport. Australian snowboarder Scotty James has won silver in a dramatic halfpipe event at the Winter Olympics. Nine's Charles Croucher reports.
It took the final run of the final round to beat Scotty James. Japanese rider Ayumu Hirano landing a triple cork for the first time in Olympic competition and snatching the gold. James was second. Olympic legend Shaun White fourth. 16-year-old Valentino Gazzelli continued to be the surprise in the field, finishing his first Olympics in sixth. Australia has now equalled its most medals at any Winter Olympics, with another week of competition still to come.
South Australia is none for 67, leading Victoria by 169 runs in the second innings on their day 3 of their Sheffield Shield clash at Adelaide Oval. And exiled NBA star Ben Simmons has finally secured a move out of the Philadelphia 76ers. He'll join fellow Aussie Patty Mills at the Brooklyn Nets in a trade for James Harden. Now checking FIVEaa traffic.
At Bedford Park, powerline works continue there. Main South Road near Flinders Drive. That's affecting both directions. Darlington works on Flagstaff Road near South Road intersection there. Gets pretty slow throughout the afternoon. Seaview Downs, look out for roadworks and line marking. That's Majors Road near Ocean Boulevard. And Woodville Park, asphalt works on Port Road near Kilkenny Road continue. Speeds reduced there. Cameras, Kelly Road, Modbury, OG Road, Clemzig. Summer sorted at OTR with Barista Mate iced OG lattes inspired by by Krispy Kreme Original Glazed Donuts. Yum! Limited time only at OTR. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Berkowitz Mile End Summer Stocktake Sale. 40% off sofas, dining tables, chairs, recliners and more. Ends soon.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, 28. Sunny tomorrow, 31. Sunday partly cloudy, 33. And Monday sunny, a top of 31. Right now it's 26. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
You can trust 9 News is live and local. While others do their news from Melbourne, 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide. Weeknights at 5.
First in Adelaide's 9 News at 5.
Nightly at 6.
And the unprecedented police operation.
We go to some breaking news now, and crews are right now at the scene.
And that's why the switch is on to 9 News.
Jade Robran on 1395. Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program. 6 minutes past 3 o'clock. It's about 28 degrees out there. Now, bit of a disclaimer. I don't have a tattoo and I don't really dig them, I have to be honest. I can't help but think when you're old, what's that going to look like? All wrinkly and saggy, but hey, they're not. They're everywhere. They're everywhere you go. I was watching Maths the other day and this beautiful bride's walking down the aisle and then she reaches her arm out and it's just covered in this big black blotch. And I thought, oh, what is that going to look like when you're 80 or 90? Goodness me. What do you think of tattoos? Are you a fan? 8223 0000. A survey of 1,000 Aussies revealed that 1 in 20 employers won't hire someone with visible ink. 40% said it's not a deal breaker, 37% say they do not notice or care, and 8% say it could work in their favour. Jill Kelly is a career expert and also director of Outplacement Australia, and she joins us now. Jill, good afternoon.
Hello, Jade. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like I'm pretty outdated.
Yeah, it's a changing landscape out there when it comes to tattoos, that's for sure.
Now, 1 in 20 that won't. That means that I think we're having a bit of a reset, wouldn't it? It means that the tide's turning?
I think so. I think that once upon a time we would have definitely said you need to cover up if you're going for an interview, if you have a tattoo. I definitely think that hirers are mellowing when it comes to tattoos just because so many people have them now and it's really almost an expression of our, individuality.
Now, I want to ask, though, is it because we're more accepting of tattoos or employers too scared to say something because of all the rules and regs out there?
I think it's probably because it's becoming more acceptable. Some actually see that it can potentially work in candidates' favour. They kind of think of it as somebody, if you think hairdressers or creatives, it's almost a reinforcement of their brand. So I feel like it's that more than requirements and policies. They still have the right to kind of make policies when it comes to those sorts of things in the most part.
Well, that's a good point. Some industries, it's an extension of your creativity, isn't it? So what kind of industries would that be?
Anything where, I guess you're in a creative industry or the other area that they're not so worried about is obviously if you're not in a client-facing role. So, the creatives, as I say, you're a graphic designer, you're a hairdresser, you're something like that, then people often think, that's just a great reflection of your own innovation and those things. But customer-facing roles, sometimes they're a little bit more hesitant depending on the nature of the role. If it's a conservative role, you know what I mean.
And you almost can't even be a barista if you don't have a tattoo, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not a great barista without a good tattoo.
No, that coffee is definitely not going to taste the same.
Yeah, true.
What workplaces aren't a fan of ink? You mentioned the customer relation type ones, but law, medicine, that type of thing too?
The more conservative areas and definitely, particularly, I guess, workplaces that have stringent rules. So the Defence Force, for example, have, some expectations around where and whether you can have a tattoo, and they kind of assess it case by case. But, yeah, they have some strict policies. So those sorts of things and conservative industries, as you say, the ones where they're, yeah.
I'd like to break down some perceptions. So 5% assume inked up job seekers are criminals. 23% believe a tattoo sends the message that the person makes poor life choices, and 16% are from low socioeconomic background. There is still a bit of a negative tone out there, isn't there? But is that where the tattoo is?
Yeah, as you say, that shocks me a little bit. The 5% that assumed that inked-up job seekers were criminals. I must admit, my mouth dropped at that. I think it does depend on the nature of that tattoo, the placement of that tattoo, what the tattoo is. You know, if it's got swearing or those sorts of things, then they might find that more. Unattractive to them.
Or if it's got a big bikey symbol somewhere, that's probably a dead set giveaway as well. But, you know, a nice rose or a I love you mum tattoo, that's okay.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your workplace too. You know, as you say, if you're working in the right industry, if you're a bike mechanic, you know.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, it might float. On the flip side, many other hirers associate tattoos with creativity, like we were mentioning, 26%, authenticity, 15%, or commitment, 9%. So I wanted to ask you, when should you cover them up, or should you not have to?
Look, I think it depends on your own personal feelings on that. I guess initially until you know what that organisation, what their feelings are, and you can, you know, scout that out a little bit by looking at their social media, what their staff looks like in the kinds of roles that you're going for. But if you're unsure, I always think when you're making those first initial impressions, then it doesn't hurt to play it safe and cover it up. But obviously, if it's important to you and it's something that you believe in strongly, then maybe you're best off finding a kind of organisation that will embrace you for who you are.
And what if you are at a workplace and you wanted to get a pretty significant tattoo? Should you, which would be visible, should you approach your boss and tell him you're doing that, or you don't have to?
Oh, look, I think it would come back to the policy in that particular workplace and your relationship with your boss. I certainly, you know, if you've got a good relationship, it never hurts to have a conversation like that, just to so that you know exactly what's going on and if there will be any implications. And I certainly would be trying to look into your own individual workplace's policy.
Jill, do you have a tattoo?
I don't, no, but I love them. I think they're beautiful. I'm often commenting on other people's tattoos. I just haven't found something that really says me yet. So no,
why would you mark a Bentley, they say?
Yeah, okay. Well, I like what you're saying there, Jade.
Well, I don't have one either. And someone asked me, why not? And I said, well, I don't really love any particular body part that much that I want to draw attention to it.
Yeah.
Maybe my big toe? I don't know. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
You too. That is Jill Kelly, Director of Outplacement in Australia. What do you think of tattoos? To ink or not to ink? 8223 0000. Have you lost your job over a tattoo, or maybe you've looked past someone and not employed them because they did have a tattoo? What do you think of them in general? 8223 0000. Patrick from Mile End. Hello, how you going?
I'm good. Pardon me, I think you really should get with the time.
I know.
I'm 70.
Yes.
And you cannot discriminate.
No, you cannot.
You cannot. And if you are a teacher, you can have a tattoo. So what's the difference? There is a doctor that is in the RAH.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband is a tattooist, and she is one of the most brilliant doctors in the RAH for operations and stuff like that. She is tattooed all over.
That's pretty cool.
Discussion.
I just don't like them for myself, that's all. I think some of them are really, really cool. I love the tribal ones that you see on some Maori, and Sean Burgoyne has got the most gorgeous traditional art on his art. Some of them, and some tattoo artists are so talented and clever. I just couldn't ink myself, Brian. I'm a bit of a wuss.
Well, I got my tattoo after my granddaughter was born. I've got her name tattooed across my shoulder with the date of her birth.
That's very
I'm
sweet.
very proud of it. And I don't think there should be a discussion on this, because all you're going to do is get yourself into a little bit of trouble, I believe.
Thanks, Patrick, very much. Appreciate the warning. Hello,
No worries.
Brian. How you going?
G'day, Jade.
Hello. Got you loud and clear.
Yep. What are people thinking? Why, like, as you said, why Margaret Bentley? I hate them. And my granddaughter, I raised from baby, has got them, one for each child, one for anniversary, and I've made it quite clear how I feel. It's just ugly. She's a beautiful girl, and why mark herself like that? And when I see footballs on TV, they just look horrible, honestly. What's wrong with having nice, smooth skin?
Well, that's how I feel. I'm the same, but some look really groovy, like I said, and very clever, but it's just the big, when you see someone turn around and their whole back, and all I can think of, like I said, is what's it going to look like when you're 70, 80, 90? It's not going to look that
Absolutely,
that
and
fancy.
I've seen them like that, and they the old sailor gets a really sagging tummy. If you're going to get one, make it small, put it on your bottom of your foot, like on your toe, and under your arm, somewhere where no one's going to see it. When my granddaughter was born, I opened a bank account for her.
Yeah.
That I marked the occasion for that. That's the start of her future. I think it's more beneficial than getting a tattoo on your across your back or wherever.
Thank you, Brian, very much. Let's go to Roylene. Hello, how are you, Roylene?
Oh, very well, thank you, Jade. Well, yes, I never thought that I would, but 11 years ago, my brother committed suicide. He took his own life. So a couple of years after, I decided to have his name put on my ankle. And then I had a beautiful Maltese cross poodle who passed away with Addison's, and I had his name put on. And then about 7 months later, I had my late husband, who passed away 45 years ago this year, and I had a teddy bear done very neatly, very nicely done from a very professional person. And at the age I am now, 77, but when I went to him, I said, I don't care how old you are, he said, and they're very, very, they're not coloured. I won't have colours, but they're very professional and they're really lovely. And that's something I thought I'd never do, but because of my brother, I had a cross put on as well as rest in peace. So somehow or other, I don't know whether it's true or not, whether people believe in things, but having it done, I just felt closer to him. Is that strange?
No, and I was going to ask you that. Do you feel like he's with you?
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that's really beautiful, nice and subtle, and it's very personal, and I think something like that is actually really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I never thought I would. I sort of looked upon him, and then I just suddenly felt one day, I look at his photo and I think, no, I've got to have something more personal than that. And being the age I was, I would have been about 72, I think, when I had it done. And I was a bit nervous about going in there, but Rob, who did it, it's a fabulous job. They're not big, they're not huge, they're not outlandish, they're just very neatly done and beautiful writing. And so I was absolutely rapt,
Did it hurt?
He didn't mind my age.
No, well, gosh, any age. Go ahead and do whatever you like at any age. I think that's great. Did it hurt?
No, actually, it really doesn't hurt. You just sort of, it's like having an immunisation. It's like having that, but it's continuous. But then after a while, you don't really feel it. It kind of, you turn off.
Just gets numb probably too from the
and so
needles.
I didn't like the colours. I said, I don't want colours at all. I just want the blue, which they do. They don't do brown anymore. They just do blue. So, yeah, I was quite happy. As I said, I never thought I would have. For years, I never thought I ever would, but then I did.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing the story. I'm going to pop you back to Tammy, and we're going to send you a Wallace Cinema Pass where you can catch any of the latest flicks at any Wallace Cinema at either Mitcham, Macbarker, Noarlunga or Mainline Drive-In, and you can check out sessions at wallace.com.au. Let's go to Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hi, g'day. Isn't it what's relevant what's on the tattoo? Like if you were trying to employ somebody in retail
Mm-hmm.
and they had maybe an F and then OFF written on their tattoo, it wouldn't be good for really appropriate, would it?
Not really, no.
So that to me is the most important thing. Is you might say you can't discriminate somebody if they've got a tattoo. It's what's on the tattoo.
Yes, I understand that. And in that case,
and how exposed it is.
That's true. And I guess in that case, the employer might say, okay, could you wear a long sleeve top? But then, you know, a long sleeve shirt. But then again, are you crossing the line of discrimination or not?
But that's why I say that if somebody's got a tattoo and it's something that's written inappropriate, you can discriminate.
Yeah, good point. Oh, it's a bit of a minefield, isn't it?
To me, it's the most important point because it's like the tattoo's for the person, but when it's exposed, like you can't
be offensive.
I'm very disappointed that you can have a sticker on your car with obscenities written on the back. Now,
I'm actually really with you with that because my kids have been in the front or the back and they've watched it, they've looked at a sticker and, you know, there's some really nasty words and they're like, oh, Mum, you're not allowed to say that word. Why is it in a sticker? That's actually a really good point.
I'm with you. And that's no different to a tattoo. I remember a guy walking down Rundle Mall with a tattoo on his back and in caption saying he was a pig dog from hell. It was describing the tattoo devouring a tapeworm from himself. And it was the most... It actually stuck in my brain. I was about 12 and it was like I found it confronting, you know, like when I saw it. You know, and that was like 45 years ago. So...
some can be quite offensive.
Yeah, I think it's really it's not a grey area. It is to me pretty. If something is offensive to you, like and you don't have to employ them if that's the reason. You know, like if it's visual and it's like generally an offensive statement, I think you've got pretty solid ground.
Paul, thank you very much for joining the program and sharing your opinion. I am going to give you a Wallace Cinema pass as well. We're going to go to the break.
As the world changes, spaces change. We should know. For 110 years, Workspace has manufactured through world wars, depressions, and now a pandemic, seeking to inspire productivity in the spaces they shaped. Adapt your space to a changing world with bespoke, high-quality furniture made here in SA. Workspace can manufacture, freight and install your commercial furniture needs. Get solutions for the spaces of today and tomorrow. Make space work at workspace.com.au.
I'm Kathy Nagel, the Chief Executive Officer at Western Hospital Henley Beach. We're proud to say the Western Hospital GP Clinic has vaccinated over 11,000 community members as part of the statewide response to COVID-19. Our doctors, nurses and staff have exceeded expectations and we're very proud of our contribution. If you're looking for a GP, why not get online and book an appointment? We are dedicated to providing individualised consultations. Visit westernhospitalgp.com.au.
You want to shut out the wind and rain in winter, or the sun, flies and mozzies in summer, but you don't want to sacrifice your view? Then you need Phantom Screens. For protection from sun, wind and rain all year round, Phantom's SA-made outdoor motorised blinds can span up to 12 metres wide. They offer effortless automation, a blind that's there 1 minute and gone the next. From the hills to the coast and everywhere in between, choose Phantom Screens. Get inspired online at phantomscreens.com.au.
In times of loss, you need Embrace. Dad passed away suddenly and we hadn't given any thought to his funeral, but Deanne Edwards from Embrace Funerals truly cared about delivering the perfect funeral to honour him. The husband, the dad, the mate to so many, even the grandkids who he simply adored were involved. And every detail was organised with exceptional care and at a really affordable cost. Embrace Funerals gave us peace of mind. When funerals need to be perfect, choose Embrace.
With so much to do in Mad March, Tab Adelaide Cup Day is a must. Head to Morphettville Racecourse for SA's favourite race day on Monday, March 14th. Catch the brilliant atmosphere with fashion, food, a gin village and more. Plus all the trackside action with the Group 2 Tab Adelaide Cup. For tickets and everything else you need to know, go to morphettville.com.au. See you at Morphettville on Tab Adelaide Cup Day. Don't chase your losses. Walk away. Gamble responsibly.
Don't just get a forklift. Get a Toyota.
When you need a forklift, don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Get the world's #1 forklift brand. Get legendary Toyota reliability, get world-leading safety, and get it from toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For sales, service and hire, get a Toyota Forklift.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Good afternoon, 26 minutes past 3 o'clock, and we're talking about tattoos in the workplace and really tattoos in general. Maybe you've gone out and got a tattoo after years of saying, no, I would never ever get one. Hang on a minute. Yep, maybe I will. Listen to this poor guy. Hey, Jade, I have a neck tattoo with Jade on it from an ex. Now I need to find a single Jade in Adelaide. Well, Caesar, if anything changes in my world, I'll give you a buzz. I'll save your number and then you'll be fine. Let's go to Simon. Hello, Simon.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
I honestly can't believe we're still having this conversation in 2020 plus. It's well, there's an old saying way back when I got my first ink, and that's the difference between someone who is tattooed and someone who isn't is that I don't care that you're not tattooed.
Yeah.
I find it very ironic that those that are so supposed to be the most forgiving are normally the most judgmental when it comes to ink.
Well, the good news is that in this survey, it says that 1 in 20 employers won't hire. So that means the rest will. So I think the tide's certainly changing. I don't love them, but I don't loathe them. I just wouldn't get one because, like I said, I don't love any part of my body to ink, really. Where's yours?
And that's fine. Actually, that's an option, but for anyone to actually
Judge someone on them because they have tats.
Hire due to ink, I think is kind of ridiculous in today's society. I've got a quarter sleeve which can be pretty much hidden by a t-shirt, but I've got the name and a testimonial to a best mate on my forearm, which he passed away, took his life several years ago now, about 10 plus years ago. But that's, in plain sight of everyone, and the reason why it's in plain sight is because it's in plain sight for me as well, so that I can always look down and see him.
Yeah.
People get tattoos for various reasons. Most people I know that have got tattoos, even if it means nothing to you, like to look at it, it might be, like a, something, satanic to look at. But that person's normally got some sort of message or meaning behind and what it means to them personally. No one gets tattooed with something that's going to be on them for life for no reason. Well, very few do. Every tattoo that I know, that anyone I know has got, they all mean something. They all have very personal meanings to those people.
No, you make a really good point. Unless Simon, you're at schoolies or on a trip on Bali and you've had too many bintangs in here, you end up and you think it's a really good idea to get a tat on holidays.
Even then, they'll look back on that in 50, 60, 70 years' time, like you say, when they're old and wrinkled.
It's a good memory.
Look back and they'll go, remember that awesome trip we had to Bali and where we got murdered on the bintangs and I got this stupid tattoo. Well, whatever it is, it's always going to have a lasting reflection memory to you.
Oh, 1,000%. And I reckon that's probably the only way I'd end up getting one. So watch this space. Hello, Rick.
G'day, how are you, Jade?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate.
Good. I've got a, when was the last time you went into JB Hi-Fi?
Oh, yeah. We had this chat this morning. Everybody, and Tammy, my producer, actually said, and I think to work at JB Hi-Fi, you have to have heaps of piercings in your face as well.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, they've got the nose balls, they've got the ear spaces, heavily tattooed, and, they are the most nicest people you could get to serve you too.
Oh, they are so helpful in there. Anything tech, that's where I'm at. I agree with you. Thank you, Rick.
That's all right. You there?
Yeah, no, keep going. Tell me your story.
I've got a friend of ours. They go to Bali quite regular for the weekend. The husband and wife, they leave on the Friday. They arrive there on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Saturday they're getting inked. Sunday they're coming home.
Are you kidding? That's commitment.
And they will sit there for 9, 10, 11 hours while the bloke does it from beginning to end.
Wow.
Then they fly home on the Monday, or they fly home on the Saturday, or on the Sunday night, arrive back here at 6 a.m. Monday morning. And I said, why do you do this? They said, Rick, he said, if we go to the tattoo artist here, they'll say, right, I'll do your outline for you. Come back and see me in a few months.
Yeah, okay.
But you go to Bali, they do the outline, they do the shading. By the time you finish, everything is all done by the time you leave Bali. He said, you've just got to put up with the 10, 12 hours sitting in the chair while he's hammering away at you.
That is commitment. Jeepers. Rick, thanks very much for the story. We're going to head into the newsroom. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. A Morford Vale woman who conspired to murder her disabled husband will have to serve 22 years behind bars. A group of Liberal MPs is being accused of misleading the Prime Minister over their support for a religious discrimination bill. Former Liberal leader Andrew Peacock has been honoured at a memorial service in Melbourne, and Australian snowboarder Scotty James has won silver in a dramatic halfpipe event at the Winter Olympics. Mostly sunny this afternoon, 28. Right now it's 26. More news at 4 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Izzy and my family runs St. Louis Home Care, which was started by my great-grandma 75 years ago. I wanted to introduce you to Deb, a carer and our receptionist. She's great.
Hi, Izzy.
Deb, you've been at St. Louis for 10 years. What do you love about it?
Oh, it's a great family-friendly environment and everyone's happy.
That's because St. Louis got them covered.
With everything from shopping and meals to gardening and home maintenance.
And don't forget the social activities. Google St. Louis Home Care to find out how my family can help take care of yours.
Will you walk for life? South Australia, you let it be known that you did not agree to abortion up to birth, yet our government passed it into law. On Saturday, the 12th of February at 10 a.m, Pennington Gardens, North Adelaide, we'll walk for those who can't. We will walk for those hurt by abortion. We will walk for the next generation. Why will you walk? For more information and free entry tickets, visit loveadelaide.org.au.
G'day, Malcolm Blight here. Are you looking for a self-contained shower and toilet caravan? Knowles Island Star Caravans specialise in shower and toilet vans. They have a big range. All caravans can be custom built to your design to suit your individual needs. If you have been thinking of building a caravan to your specifications, place your trust in the hands of a professional at Knowles Island Star Caravans, 561 Salisbury Highway, Greenfields, opposite Mawson Lakes.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
If your business could do with more business, you should try advertising here on the radio. 5AA can help turn your brand into a household name. We could do it with a jingle, or a really funny ad, or something deadly serious. Our audience is big enough to fill Adelaide Oval again and again. Get in touch with 5AA to find out how we can give your business more business.
Life sends us in all kinds of different directions. So if it's time for a new place, whether it's your first or your next, People's Choice will have you right at home. With great rates and flexible appointments, our home loan specialists can make it happen, wherever you are, because we're for easy journeys. Learn more online or in branch. Finding the right home is half the battle. Finding the right people to get you there is simple. People's Choice. Terms, conditions, fees, charges and lending criteria apply. Full details available on application. People's Choice Credit Union is referred to as People's Choice.
With continued cases of COVID-19 across South Australia, now's the time to book your booster. Boosters increase your protection against all COVID-19 variants, including Omicron, and they're available 3 months from your second dose. Plus, there are now more clinics and more appointments to choose from. Book your booster at your local GP, pharmacy or SA Health clinic. Book your booster now at covidvaccine.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
25 minutes to 4 o'clock, and I'll get through most of your messages about tattoos. A lot of you are sending me photos of your tattoos, which I'm loving seeing. There's a couple of you that are regulars that I wouldn't have even thought whether you did or didn't have a tattoo, and now that you've sent message, I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't expect him or her to have that tattoo. It's great. It's I'm learning a lot about you. It's good. Okay, I'd like to welcome my next guest. Now, some parents, they'll tell you that it's probably easier to fly to the moon than try and communicate with teenagers. Well, my next guest has released a book called 50 Questions to Ask Your Teens. Daisy Turnbull, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so a lot of people are probably sitting here thinking, yeah, right, okay, my teenager just grunts at me. How do I even start a conversation with my teen? How do you?
I think the first thing with teens is they do love conversations. We know they can talk to their friends. So you talk to them without judgment and ask what they think about something rather than telling them what they should think.
The world of being a teenager is very different to when we were teens. Now, the world is changing so quickly. How big of a communication barrier is there between teens and their parents today? Is it different from our generation to what it was, say, decades ago, or is this the way it is?
On the one hand, it's very different because there's obviously the internet and social media where teens spend a lot of their time, and it's harder for parents to access that and understand that. But at the same time, teens have been individuating and learning to become adults on their own since, we were cavemen. So it's a natural thing for teens to want to look elsewhere for their connections. But it's also very important for parents to want to have good relationships with their teens as they grow up into being adults.
When is the best time to talk to your teen? Is it, okay, guys, sit down at the dinner table, we're going to have a chat, or is it taking advantage of those little moments in time where you might be together and could just slip in some questions every now and then?
I think it can be both. I think there are huge benefits to families eating meals together for kids and family mental health, and so that's obviously a great opportunity for conversation. But also it is like slipping in those conversations while you're doing jobs, while you're in the car is often an example of the best time to have a conversation. Also because those activities have a limit on them. So if you decide we're going to have a chat while you cook dinner, dinner will at one point be served and then the conversation can end. And that's a good thing if you're having an awkward conversation.
True. I'd like to talk to you about some issues that are affecting teens. The first one is not even teenagers. It's quite a bit younger. Pornography. Kids as young as 11 are, we're being told are being exposed to it online. That's really scary, Daisy. How do you have that conversation?
It is a really scary idea, isn't it? Look, The thing with pornography is it's not going anywhere. And so it's on the parents and schools, but I think it's more the parents to talk to kids about the fact that it's not real. And the dangerous thing with pornography is it normalises very violent behaviour to women because pornography is pornography as it is online is not, what you stumbled on the adult channel on Foxtel when you were a teenager. It's very extreme now and it normalises really aggressive behaviour in young people, especially young men.
So at what stage do you then start the conversation about love and consent? Does that start, I guess how mum and dad treat each other when they're babies, really?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I don't think consent needs to be taught with a 3-month-old asking permission to
Sorry, I don't mean that. I mean,
No, but I think it is important, I think one of the fascinating things with the consent education is, they do it so well for little kids, like the undies rule and 5 heroes and all this thing protecting young children from pedophiles, but then we stop talking about it until they're 15 or 16, and we know that the people most at risk to teenagers are people they know. So it gets a bit lost in kind of the stranger danger stuff, and I think that the conversation needs to keep happening as kids get older, and it needs to be things around, explaining to your kid that there is a difference between coercion and consent, like the constant, this idea of wearing someone down is not consent. That's the conversation you need to have with early teens.
Social media, it's also a beast, and you may think watching videos on TikTok or YouTube is innocent, but it's not always, is it?
It's a very dangerous place in some ways, because what we're seeing is the impact it has on teenagers' mental health. And the important thing to talk to teens on about that is twofold. It's one, who are you comparing yourself to?
Yeah.
And in the book, I talk about a concept called the lakes of comparison. So when we were growing up, you were probably comparing yourself to your neighbours or the 20 kids in your class, or 30 kids in your class. But now it's the entire internet. And we don't put our real lives online. And then the other conversation to have is about who they want to be when they're online. What parts of themselves do they want to share? And, if you have a teen in your house, what parts of your life do you want to share? Do you want your teen posting photos of your home online?
And then there's the question, and this may be more so for girls. I'm not 100% sure. My kids are 8 and 10, so we haven't got social media accounts for them. But, filters, and I muck around with filters every now and then. But, I mean, I'm on radio. I couldn't give a stuff what I look like. But, for young girls that are jumping on social media and, there's all these apps where you can change the way you look. And that's not sending a positive message at all, because it's sort of saying to them, it's not okay to be, the way you were born. You need to alter that.
No, exactly. And it's a really dangerous area. Last year when I was teaching, I was obviously teaching over Zoom for a lot of the year because of lockdown. And I was teaching a year 11 class, and students asked me, I said, look, Miss, could we do this without the cameras on? We're just sick of staring at our faces all day. And I totally understood that. And then I was talking to a friend who's a teacher as well, and she said she told her students to use the kind of, they've got this effectively a filter on Zoom that makes you look a bit more glam. And I said, but that's really bad, because then they're looking at this false version of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
For 6 hours. And then they get up and they look in the actual mirror and they don't look like that. It's a really scary thing. And I guess it goes back to that idea of, one, recognising that these filters aren't real, but two, learning to value yourself beyond just your looks.
And self-compassion, I don't think a lot of our teens know that, do they? Don't be so harsh on yourself.
And I talk about this in the book, and I talk about my best friend Melissa, and I say, we've got to talk about ourselves the way we would about our best friend.
Yeah.
And if you would be angry if someone spoke about your friend a certain way and you're talking to yourself that way, then you've got to reposition it.
So, can I ask about parents? How do we become embarrassing literally overnight? I'm classified as embarrassing now.
I know. It is part of life, because you go back to us living in caves, and it's normal for kids to become friends with other kids because the risk of parents, dying before them and being eaten by a mammoth is the joke I make. It's normal for kids to seek validation in their peers. And part of that is being embarrassed by parents. But I think it's important to try not to bend to that too much. Respect it and respect their boundaries without, while remembering that you are giving your kids unconditional love, and that's the most important thing you can do.
Daisy, thank you very much. I'm holding your book up because we are live streaming live on the Facebook app and also YouTube. So those that are watching and are interested, 50 questions to ask your teens. It's available in all good bookstores, and Daisy Turnbull is the author. You can also join the conversation on Twitter or Instagram, hashtag 50 questions. Thank you so much for joining the program. You have a fabulous weekend.
Thank you for having me. See you.
Thank you. That's Daisy Turnbull there, author of 50 Questions to Ask Your Teens. Coming up after the break, we're going to find out what's happening this weekend around town with our own Tommy Wren, who is going to put his Hello SA hat on and let us know where we can go.
World-class athletics is coming to Adelaide this Saturday night for the Chemist Warehouse Adelaide Invitational. See Tokyo stars in action, including Peter Boll and Riley Day, as well as SA's own Izzy Batdor, light up the track at the SA Athletics Stadium in Mile End. For your chance to win VIP tickets, tune into Rowie Sports Show from 4 p.m. weeknights or purchase your tickets at athleticssa.com.au.
Thanks to Athletics SA, Athletics Australia, and of course 5AA. bringing you all the track and field action.
Did you know that Frank Sinatra's My Way was voted the #1 choice of funeral songs? With Time to Say Goodbye not far behind. And the #1 choice for a simple, affordable service? simplicityfunerals.com.au.
We're for getting the kids back to school and helping mum and dad kick some goals, turning C- into B+ and landing our dream work roles. We're for getting back to nature, filling coastlines with happy campers, afternoons in the dunes with our besties and the most epic picnic hampers. So come on, Adelaide, let's do this. Show some love, hug a hater. We're for you and we always will be. But this year, we're for greater. The Advertiser, we're for you.
At Harvey Norman, receive bonus gift cards on selected cooking appliances valued over $299. Building, renovating, or just updating, shop the very latest technology from the world's best cooking brands. Electrolux, Bosch, Fisher & Paykel, Smeg, Westinghouse, Euromade, plus the latest from Miele, AEG, Neff and Ilvi, Glengas and Ariston. For a limited time, save up to $1,000 on Belling Richmond Deluxe cookers. Plus, receive bonus gift cards on selected cooking appliances across the range. Exclusions, terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Now at Harvey Norman, your cooking specialists.
Go! Feeling the burn?
Cheapest chips.
Save cash with Cheapest Chips Hot Buys. Cool down with Super Duper's Original or Sours, 2 for $5. Finish Powerball 110-pack Original or Lemon, only $16.99. Schmacko's 500-gram straps, only $11.99 each. And Bronning's 25-litre pack potting mix, pine bark or mulch, any 3 for $12. Check out this week's catalogue for more Hot Buys in store and online. Save cash and live cheaper with Cheapest Chips Hot Buys now.
There's more to Aboriginal art than dots. Okadorn Creative Industries is a First Nations business with a proud heritage and cutting-edge approaches to telling your business's story. Okadorn combines ancient storytelling with modern design for corporate, industry, not-for-profit and government alike. For the best digital skills, branding assets and promotional merchandise, they tick all the boxes and connect all the dots. Okadorn Creative Industries at okadorn.com.au, bringing your story to life.
It's value the Australian way at Coles with great specials for Valentine's Day. Like half price Ferrero Rocher or Ferrero Raffaello chocolate heart gift boxes. Now just $6. This week at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
It's okay to want more, which is why more and more people choose Mawson Lakes Volkswagen to service their car. Especially Volkswagen owners. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we offer state-of-the-art servicing, complimentary loan cards, next-day servicing, and breakfast or lunch is on us. Why? Because when you're Adelaide's newest Volkswagen dealer, you want to give more. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city. Visit mawsonlakesvw.com.au and book your service today.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Good afternoon, 10 minutes to 4 o'clock, and of course after 4 o'clock it's Rowie Sports Show. Rowie, good afternoon.
Oh, good, Jade. Hey, Super Bowl 56 Monday morning. It's live on 9:30 a.m. I generally get up and watch that.
See, the most favourite part for me are the ads.
Yeah, they're good. They're clever. Cost $1.5 million for 30 seconds. I'll have
unreal.
3 of them, thanks.
Yeah.
You're a Robran. Crows to Disneyland with the latest. We'll cross that. 76ers. I'm going to call him a la-la head. Call the Wamblets. He's an absolute flogger-roller. Ben Simmons. He got traded to Brooklyn. Tell your story walking, buddy. You don't hold a club to ransom, or, whatever. The only positive from that is Paddy Mills is there. He might be able to pull his horns in. Olympic gold medalist Jakara Anthony. She's only our 6th ever gold Winter Olympian. We'll speak to her. Riley O'Brien, Isaac Humphries, big show. See you at 4.
Can't wait. Thank you so much. And our next guest is, he's just joined Hello SA and Hello SA Sunday. Thanks for your 2-bit bobs there. Bye-bye. Hello SA Sundays, 5:30 p.m. on Channel 9. It's the travel and lifestyle show that everyone can enjoy. And today we are joined by Tommy Wren. You've just joined the crew. Are you loving it?
Loving it. And you know what? The best part is I've just heard you're going to have a bit of a cameo with us on the show too. So, Jade, I'm very excited about that. You and I used to work in TV land together, so reunited at last.
I know I am. I'm actually really, really excited. I got the news on the way to work today. I was like, yeah, this is a cool... this is a fun family show that is, and like you said, you've gone out and about and you've discovered places that you didn't even know exist, and that's the beauty of these programs.
Big time. So, for example, I'm doing a shoot at Kangaroo Island. I'm actually a bit ashamed to say this. I've never been.
Either have I.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm going in a month. You've got to come
I'm
with.
going to come with you.
Seriously, you've got to come with. And this is brilliant. So, went to Clare a couple of weeks ago. That was incredible. That aired last week. Just last week, went to the Fleurieu Peninsula. So, have got to see all these incredible places. And so this week, for example, Jade, we're going to all the bars and restaurants in and around the city and North Adelaide that people might have forgotten about or have been impacted by COVID. Cool. Places like Fishbank, unbelievable seafood. Lobster, I ate the whole lobster. I was supposed to share it with the crew. Ate the lot.
It's very selfish.
But unbelievable. Aurora, Sarah and I just went back there last week. That's just down in Light Square. All these incredible places that some of them I didn't even know were there. So it's just a great thing to do, and I'm loving it so far.
Good. I'm so pumped. Well, we'll talk a bit more about the show in a moment, but you're also here to tell us some fun things that are on around town this weekend that we can all go to. So what are you kicking off with?
Well, Jade, I know you're very good with your feet. You don't have two left feet like me, but if you've driven past Light Square, you might have noticed they've actually set up an outdoor ballroom. So Quick Steps Dance School is running various dances, and tonight they've got Rhythm Under the Stars. Tickets are $25 per person. There'll be ballroom, Latin swing, rock and roll dancing, and it's all under the stars. Beautiful night, of course, as well. When Sarah and I were getting married, we did some dancing, and a long time ago, when I was about 18, I did some dance lessons.
And?
Shocking.
Oh, no.
Loved it. Terrible.
Do you know what? You forget how puffed out you get.
It's hard.
It's really
You
hard.
could dance. You can dance.
No. See, I've got bunged knees now, so that's what I put it down to.
I reckon you're being modest.
So I just stand in the corner and I'll do the what is it?
The shuffle.
the lawnmower, the
sprinkler.
The sprinkler, thank you. That's what I was... You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else is Jazz in the Park?
Jazz in the Park as well. Just on the Quick Steps, if you want to have a look, quicksteps.com.au. Jazz in the Park, yes. Now, this is part of the Concerts in the Park series, which is run by the City of Norwood, Payneham and St Peters. So this Saturday, 4 until 8 p.m. at Costa Park in Trinity Gardens. They'll be featuring the Honey Badgers and Jazz It Up. You have to register, so head to npsp.sa.gov.au, click on the link and simply follow the instructions. It's as easy as that.
I love jazz.
Jazz is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I do. So Jazz in the Park. This is what I love about this segment, because I was saying to Tammy ages ago, you know what really annoys me is that you get to Sunday night and the weather presenter is somewhere fabulous and it's too late. The day's gone.
Yeah, the weekend's gone.
It's gone. I think, if only I'd known about that, I would have been there with bells on. So, okay, so dancing tonight. See, my husband's so not a dancer either. He'd be like, nah, Jade, I'm not joining
Benny's
you.
pretty good.
Have you seen him on the dance floor?
No good.
In the heaven days?
He might maybe a couple of beers first. the heaven days, oh yeah, we were all there, weren't we?
We were fabulous dancers in the heaven, the planet days. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the planet.
So let's talk more about the show this weekend, because it's also Valentine's Day on Monday. So these might be some great tips for people to book and take their loved
Big
one.
time. Yep. So, okay, really good episode this weekend. It's number 3 for us. Now, Hayley and Lauren, they're going to start with a visit to the new Fruit Choc shop in Tanunda. I'm actually spewing I didn't get invited to this.
Yeah.
Devastated. So it's on Murray Street and it's a whole new look and feel compared to the other Fruit Choc shops. So they'll explain a bit about that. Then Hayley heads up to the Barossa Bus Gardens. This is a 7-hectare site in Yuriuppa that specialises in native gardens. And she'll learn about gardens that are fire-wise and gardens that are designed to help people living with dementia. So pretty cool.
How gorgeous.
Yeah, really good.
Oh,
so
that's wonderful.
It's really good. Now, I'm on a mission, like I said, to get people back into the city.
Yep.
So I'm going to show you 7 of my favourite bars and restaurants. People have been a bit hesitant, I think, Jade, to get back out because of COVID, etc.
They have, yeah.
But, slowly the restrictions are starting to get relaxed and they're doing everything now. It's COVID safe. Places like the Lion, Mothervine, East End Cellars, which I love. I was there the other night after the cricket. Aurora, Paloma, Fishbank. 2KW, go there all the time after the footy for a beer up, stairs. Level 8. I think it is.
It's incredible views.
How good are the views up there?
Almost 360 views of the city. Grab a cocktail and it's just beautiful. Are you still standing by the end of this segment?
I've got to admit, I filmed it and I had to read that night.
Oh.
I'd had a couple and I was fine, but I was like, well, I could just stay here and call in sick, I reckon, and just kick on for the day. I was very tempted.
Oh, that's the fun of being able to do these stories. So where are you taking your loved one on Monday then, out of all of these?
Now, I think...
Dinner at Fishbank and then up to 2KW?
Perfect. Yes, that's the one. So Fishbank's literally downstairs. So if you like your seafood, this is the place. Central, and then head upstairs for a nice cocktail afterwards. Perfect. And then finally, too, Jade, Lauren, she heads to Moonta and she gets a tour from a local historian named Liz Cool, who shows her the Moonta Cemetery. Ooh. And Methodist Church. Really interesting stories coming out of both those places. And then they hit a few local shops and finish off with, what better than this, a famous Cornish pasty.
Oh, the best. Do you
Love
have
that.
tomato sauce with your Cornish pasty?
No, Mum must have hated raising me. I would have been a nightmare. If there was sauce on the pasty or pie, I would literally not. I'd bawl, throw the toys out of the car. Youngest
Really
of three,
whinge.
2 sisters, like just a baby.
You're a real pain.
Yep.
Okay, well,
baby.
see
Still
ya.
am.
Thank you, Tommy Wren. It was
Jade,
so nice to see you.
And great
Thank
to hear you back too. You're sounding brilliant.
Oh, cheers.
And looking
buddy.
even better.
Oh, shucks. Oh, hey, just stay around. Now, Hello SA is on every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Channel 9, and it really is the show that everyone can enjoy. And I've enjoyed having your company today. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to talking to you on Monday.
For a unique take on everything happening in SA, join Matthew Abraham